and welcome again to another episode of Wrestling Wednesdays. My guest this week is one of the funniest guys, if you ever spend time with him, when you meet him outside of the ring. And you really should look back at the archives to see his attempts at a rap career at the start of his career. No, we're going to delve into that technical, but no, genuinely one of the nicest guys you can meet, a fantastic wrestler, works in both singles and tag matches, so you need to check him out. It is the top boy. It is JOC, Jack of the Clubs, a former two-time Anarchy Champion and a former one-time Junior Heavyweight Fight Factory Wrestling Champion. Jack, how you doing, fella?
I'm good, thank you, Martin. How are you?
I'm very well. I'm very well. As I say, I mean, it's difficult to describe your sort of work to anyone who hasn't seen you, because you kind of mix it up with everyone. I've seen you be very physical with Reese and Rogan. I've seen you be, off the ropes, very quick, very speedy matches as well. So how do you sort of describe your own style?
As you said, it all depends who I'm facing. Like, I like to bring it. I like to study. I like to work to them, give them something they're not expecting, sort of thing. So say, like, if I'm facing a Romanov, I'll be a little bit more technical. If I'm facing a Bennett, I might throw a bit of a weapon out there. If I'm facing Reese and Rogan, like you said, I'm going to be brutal. I'm going to bring it to him. I'm going to shock him. That's how I like it. Bring the fight.
No, it's great. It really resonates. I mean, obviously, fans love you. I mean, it's interesting because when you look through how you first started out, I would assume your main goal was to be a bit of an irritant and a bit of a sort of the heel side of things. But that fan base really love you. I mean, obviously, like you said, when we speak at Gainsborough, for example, that is, as you rightly call it, your crowd. That's your, that they will back you no matter what you do. I think over there.
That's my home. That's my home. I'm like Bret Hart in Canada, but JOC in Gainsborough.
That's the TikTok clip right there. There you go.
Yeah.
The JOC sharpshooter. I love it. In terms of your own journey, obviously we'll start off with where you train, how you got into training and things like that. But in terms of your own journey, looking back on it, how did you find that career development in terms of moving from someone that was probably trying to rile the crowd up to now having that crowd support? Did it how did it feel when crowds start really backing you and getting behind you?
Well, they've just like ruined me. Like it's a bit hard. I've got chills thinking about it now. But yeah, it's a bit heartwarming. Like, I feel loved, to put it nicely. But like, I came in and like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna mess around and beat some people up and have a good time. And then like, I sort of like started to learn the craft and go, oh, I love this. And then I think the crowd have gone, this guy loves this, and we love seeing this guy. And then it's sort of like grown from then. It's like stemmed. Like, obviously, I loved it as a kid. I'm like, yeah, beating people up, nice. And then actually, when learning the craft, it's like, this is a bit of me. This is what I am. This is like very much my life now.
So it's exciting. It's exciting. I mean, crowd reactions for you, obviously we'll delve into the bad boys in a little while. But the crowd reactions for you are always really exciting. And, obviously the 1AK and obviously in Gainsborough and everywhere else, I've seen you at Yarborough, etc. But it's always a very loud reaction. They get excited when they know your music's coming on. So it's cool to see, and it's an experience people need to come and obviously get the chance to come and see you live. We should probably go back really to how you started, because I'd be quite curious to what it was like for you when you first joined the training school at Fight Factory, and what it was like for you learning that craft.
Well, at first, it's obviously daunting. It's daunting for everyone, something new. So I just loved it as a kid, watching it. Like, CM Punk was my favourite. I was like, right, I love this. And then I found out about it, and I was like, right, let's go. Let's see what it is. Like, I'm very much, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it sort of guy. So like, right, if I want to do this, if I think I can do this, I'm going to do it. So I went nervous. I probably, like, I'm a chatterbox, but there I probably didn't say a word for like my first month I was there. Just like sort of like, yeah, I'll do it. I'll try that. And then you just get comfort with anything. It's like starting a new job. It's like actually daunting. You don't know anyone. You're just there to learn. And that's what I did, learn, and then built rapport. Met Dalton for the first time, or Jake Lee, whatever he's going. And then became one of the boys pretty much. Learnt my craft, figured out what I am. And then, yeah, and Dutch and the boys who I was with and girls were a big part in that. And then I've made friends through it and lost friends now. But yeah, I'm sorry. Well, my Siri's going off on my watch. I don't know what's going on there.
Jake following you around already, he knows.
Yeah, he's listening. But yeah, there's not much more to say other than that. Just like it's got me into a physical peak as well. Like I feel the best in myself. Like it's proper brought me out, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it really does. I mean, I think that's the beauty of, whenever I get the pleasure of speaking with anyone from Fight Factory, it's the community feel, the family feel, but it's also that you're not just learning the art of storytelling and ring work. You're actually getting yourself fitter, healthier, understanding that side of how to look after yourself, which obviously helps you potentially have a longer career, but also helps you in your personal life. So yeah, it's exciting to whenever you delve into anyone's stories from how they started. I'm just curious. Everyone says the same thing like you do, where sort of nervous or daunting, and but it's very welcoming, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's an incredible environment, and that's the beauty of of what Hayden and Rebecca have built there. And I'd say everyone's the same. They all know, so they've all experienced it. And like you're one of the older statesmen now. You've been around a few years.
I've grown a bit. It's weird seeing all these newbies come in and go, I was once like you.
Yeah.
I remember like there's Hooks at the minute. I was around about probably a year or two older than him when he started. I was like almost the same sort of build, scrawny, skinny kid. Not found myself yet. But then like it really helps you. And I can see it in him now coming like going, I'm finding myself sort of thing. Like I'm finding my feet and I'm ready to start running, if that makes sense. So it's great seeing stuff like that, and it really helps you. So
yeah, it's exciting. No, it's good, and obviously, it means you give back as well because you remember it. So that's part of it. You're around for training and tips, and anyone that wants to lean on you. I know, obviously, like you said, you're a chatterbox, but that's a good thing because you do. You're very friendly and welcoming to people, and you'll always start a conversation, and you'll get things going. So, I'd say I'm gutted about the Bad Boys team, but we'll get into that very shortly. But love you two guys, but no, obviously not Jake anymore. That's it.
We don't love Jake anymore.
No, he's
well, we do, but we don't.
Strange name. Yeah, we're gonna have to wind him up, aren't we, now about this? But anyway, before we get into that, then, so I was having a look back, and I remember coming to an awards evening. I think it was at the Lincoln Imp a few years ago. And I think before it was that I think you must have recorded. I think you must have done it in that daytime or that evening. There's a video on YouTube of you beating KD to become Anarchy Champion, and I'll put the link underneath this because it's great. It shows how much you throw yourselves into character, and obviously, the fact that you were trying to obviously work with utilizing social media and online promotion, and obviously interacting with not just the matches in an actual show where there's a crowd, but you're putting the craft into, right, how do I work on camera? How do I work with guys? How do I work with no crowd? What was it like for you getting to do that and shoot that and become Anarchy Champion in a pub?
Well, I'll always remember that because that was like my first title win. So like, what did I have? I whacked him over the back with a ball cue, I think, and just won the title. I was like, sick. And then it was good. Like your first one's always like one to remember. Like, and you just do what you can with it. Like it was just good fun, to be honest. Like obviously it got pitched to me, and then I was like, to bring the curtain back. They were like, yeah, we're doing this. I was like, nice. Let's do some cool stuff with it. So I was thinking from there, like, what can I do for my social media to make it go off? And I was like, right, Christmas Day, because it was around about November. It wasn't the same day where I won it at the awards, but It was like a month before. So Christmas Day anyway. We're having Christmas dinner or something. We go, right, Mum, we're filming a promo. She whacks me over the head with a baking tray, pins me 1, 2, 3. My little brother's there counting the pin. So my mum's actually an Anarchy Champion. And then I pinned her later that night when she's had too many wines and fast gone on the sofa. So it's just cool, like doing like a lot of it's to pop myself. Like, what do I think's gonna make this funny? Like, oh yeah, if my mum pins me, that'd be a good skit to post. So we did that, and then like 2 years later, oh, you're the lad who got hit over the head with a baking tray with your mum I've had. I was like, I forgot about that, but yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
but
it's
that's the
funny
thing.
how that resonates with people and they just remember, and it's funny stuff like that. Like people who you've never met before, my phone's sliding now. But yeah, it's good. Like that's what you want. You want to create those memories, like whatever way you can, either if it's at a show or on a little Facebook skit like that.
Yeah, but I think that's why, like you say, people have grown on you over this period of time, is because that that's what people wanted to see, because you were that style of character at the time. It's
Yeah.
funny for you to have lost your title to your mother and then obviously win it back later on, but that's what makes sense, and it's that suited your character, and it's what the crowd enjoy, and also they can all resonate with that, like you mentioned, because that's the type of audience that come to your shows the majority of the time. It's a very family friendly kind of show. There's a real interaction kind of feel to it, where you get the chance to speak to people afterwards. You see a lot of the same faces,
Yeah.
coming to shows, and so obviously you build that rapport with them. So yeah, that's brilliant, and I love how interactive you are with social media. I think it's something that you do a lot of. There was always posting videos, either you as your own, or you with Dalton stroke Jake. There's always stuff that goes out, and I love that interaction, and that's what kind of gets me even more engaged, because you're growing that story outside of events. So I really appreciate what you do with all that. So obviously that was your first run as Anarchy Champion. Do you enjoy that kind of title? It's obviously a bit of fun. It kind of suited you quite well, I think.
Yeah, I did, to be fair. Like, I never actually had a proper match with it, so that'd be
Mm.
interesting. But I know Bennett and Romanov have got their own thing going on around that. And, Bennett's a bit of a loose cannon with his weapons, and Romanov is just Romanov. So
Yeah.
I feel like for the time being, I'll let them do their thing. I know I've got Bennett coming up in my next match, but we've got a gentleman's agreement, and I hope he sticks by it. So
I was going
he's
to
a good
say
friend of
this.
mine.
Yeah, I was going to ask this about this, because it's quite interesting. You're mentioning that he's got that feud with Romanov at the moment, and they're two guys that obviously you're very friendly with it. So I wouldn't mess around with you anyway, because you're a big lad. And but those
Yeah.
two guys seem pent on destruction and aggression, and you kind of, they seem very hot headed when they're around each other. So you kind of wouldn't really want to be in the middle of that, but you're going to be in the middle of that, because you're in the triple jack
Yeah.
match on the July 6th. So we'll have to touch on that. I think we might have to cover it now, in fact. So
We'll go on it now if you want to go on it now,
yeah, I think
Martin.
so. I mean, basically, I want to get into your junior heavyweight run and some more of your matches afterwards. But Saturday, July 6th at 1NK in North Highcombe is Jack to the Future, brilliantly named. I'm sure it's after you, not the other Jacks. Clearly,
Yeah, definitely after me.
Yeah,
100%. I've been there the longest.
yeah. Well, you're in the middle of the poster as well, so that's kind of like
Yeah.
you are holding it. You're the glue holding it all together. But it's yourself, Jack Maxwell, and Jack Bennett in a triple Jack match, however you
The
want to
jack
call
off, I've been told, if you don't
it.
want to say
Brilliant.
it.
I was going to say jacked up, but I was going to be more polite. But I'm sure there's a few different puns and jokes that are going to go around there. But
Yeah.
it's going to be fantastic. That's a triple threat match. I mean, how are you feeling going into a match where you're working with Bennett? Like you mentioned, you've got a gentleman's agreement over, but it can be a bit of a loose cannon. But he's a nice guy with it. But if you do something wrong against him, you're going to get an ass whooping. And
Yeah.
Maxwell, there's an interesting story there with him, how that's going, and you've got to watch out for the red tide. But two of the very best that I've seen, and you're going in, you're in the middle with them. How are you feeling? What's your approach to this?
I'm feeling good about it, to be fair. Like, I'm excited. Like, I've never wrestled Bennett before on a show, so I'm ready for that. Like, we behind the scenes, we're actually quite good friends, Jack and Jack. And Maxwell, after last show, I've got a mutual respect for. I can see something in him. Like, I can sort of tell he doesn't want to be in the new age anymore. So I feel like that's got that clog turning. And I've gone, right, Dalton's not at the show. Jake's not at the show. I've got nothing to worry about. Bennett's got Romanov following him about, and he's got him on back of the mind. Maxwell has got the new age on his mind, I can tell. Who were calling him a Mel? Like, I would not be having that. But you never know what's going to happen. I've also seen Jake get into bed with KD, so what does that mean for me? Is he going to try and get the new age after me? I don't know. Anything could happen. I've been writing bullet points like, what should I be ready for? So I'm ready for out. I've been training harder than I ever have. I'm more motivated than I ever have. I've lost half a stone, Martin. That's a fact. I've got abs showing back through. So are they going to be ready for JOC? Because JOC is going to be ready for them. That's what they need to know. I'm the biggest guy still going into that. Are they going to be ready? That's the question you need to be asking. Clubs is ready. Are they ready?
Love it. Love it. The top boy is back. He is on fire. That's exciting.
I know.
I mean, that's going to be a hell of a match, that one.
Yeah, I can't wait. Like, this is, as I said, I love this game. And when I love this game, I've got my passion back. Who's going to stop me? No one. No one's going to stop me, Martin. For me, it's a must-win scenario, to be fair. Like, I want to be World Heavyweight Champion. So every match from now is a must-win. So I'm going to study. I'm going to train as hard. I'm just going to win. That's it. That's all I need to do is just keep winning. Dalton don't want to face me. I keep on switching. Dalton, Jake, Dalton, Jake, Dalton, Jake. They don't want to face me, whoever they are. So I'm going to become World Heavyweight Champion and prove to him I'm better.
Love it. Goosebumps from that. I love that. That's exciting. I mean, I think this is the question really, because I loved your tag team, Bad Boys, just because it was fun. You also performed really well, but it was distracting. Obviously, Dalton we'll refer to him as Dalton for the time being, had his opportunity to become heavyweight champion, which obviously kind of took away from the tag team slightly. It was slightly a mixed game. It didn't really know where you were going with it. But you guys were very successful as a team. Got into those big feuds with Reese and Rogan, which obviously is very, very difficult when you're fighting those.
Yeah.
But it felt like maybe this is the wake-up call, that turn from Dalton and what he's done with you and how he's attacked you on a couple of occasions now, has almost woken up the beast that is JOC and put you back on this path of, right, I'm not going to worry about you anymore. I'm going to be looking forward, and if you want to come in my direction, I'm gonna take you out as well. Is that kind of how you're feeling? You're feeling very focused now. Then, like you mentioned, you want to become, which is great to hear, that you want to become the Fight Factory Wrestling Heavyweight Champion.
Yeah. So I've set myself these goals. So it's humble Dalton Chase and become World Heavyweight Champion. So those are my only two goals at the minute. That's all I'm working towards. That's all I've got on my mind. And that's all I'm going for, whatever it takes. So the only reason I'm not fighting Dalton is because he thinks he's better than me. So if I become World Heavyweight Champion, that means I'm better than him. And then what's going to happen then? He's got to face me to prove himself. If not, he's a pussy, like I've been saying, and then he can crawl back into his hole with his tail between his legs and humble himself.
I love it.
That's my plan anyway. That's how I'm seeing this.
Game on. Well, make sure obviously July 6th is the beginning then of this journey. It's the next step in your journey with, as I say, the triple Jack threat match. Jack of clubs, Jack Maxwell and Jack Bennett are going to have an absolute monster of a match. You've got to make sure you get along. There's tickets still available at the moment, but make sure you get along on Saturday, the 6th of July at the 1NK in North Icombe. Another match, obviously, on that card is something that will resonate with you, because we're going to delve into your bad boys time right now. But it is the other title you mentioned you've held in Fight Factory, the Junior Heavyweight Championship. That's going to be on the line as cousin Lenny and Ben Butcher go head to head. Now they're a tag team. They don't seem to have the breakup that Bad Boys have had. They're very, settled. They're supportive of each other. What kind of threat levels will this kind of match have to their tag team? If something goes wrong or if something goes right, or as fans, are we overthinking that?
You see, it's a tough one. Like, in that ring, anything can happen. Like, I didn't expect Dalton to turn on me, but anything can happen. Like, say, Butcher accidentally pokes Lenny in the eye, like by mistake, like, oops, just force of habit. And then that annoys Lenny. And then Lenny does something to annoy Butcher. And then Butcher does something back to annoy Lenny. It just can build and build and build. And I feel like that's where it all starts. It can be something little, something big. It could even be if Butcher beats Lenny and then there's a bit of animosity. I can't say words. Is that the right word? Animosity?
Animosity.
That one. Between them, and then it just arises. You don't know. Like, you never really know what's going to happen. But I know they're two hell of a talent, and they're great as a tag team. Like, they beat Reese and Rogan. Me and Dalton weren't able to beat Reese and Rogan together. So they are two
Dalton
hell
was
of
holding you back, though,
competitors.
wasn't it?
Hey?
That's because Dalton was holding you back.
Yeah, to be fair. I'll go more into that in a bit.
I'm going to get in so much trouble.
Yeah, he definitely was holding me back then. No, I say that. It was myself holding me back. I was a very mid boy, and now I'm not. I'm back to the top boy. So, but we went on a tangent then. But it's for the prize. It's more about how badly they want it. Like, what's more important to him? Is it the family connection? Is it winning the tag team titles, or is it just that junior? You never know. Like, it'd be interesting. Like, to be honest, I can't see Lenny turning on Butcher. And I couldn't really see Butcher turning on Lenny, to be fair. Like, but it's weird. It's a weird one, to be honest. But for that quest for goals, anything can happen.
You've been in the ring, obviously, with these guys, and you've obviously trained with them as well. How impressed are you by both? Because I mean, they're very, very big guys, but they're very athletic. And when you see Butcher come off the top rope, and you see the power of Lenny, and you wonder sometimes if he realizes how strong he actually is, because physically he's very, very, very intimidating. But he's a sweet guy. What's it like when you're in with those guys, and how impressed are you with what they can do in the ring?
So, Ben, I'll start with Ben, because I had Butcher's first ever match. So, and then I wrestled him at Steel Cage Showdown. So it's brilliant seeing how far he's actually came. And I've gave him little tips and that on the way, like I do. So it's just brilliant. He's improved so much in leaps and bounds. Because for the first match we had, I gave him a bit of a kick in, to be fair. He was not happy. I slapped him a lot, and he came back slap me. And now, it came to a point where he almost beat me at Steel Cage Showdown. He hit me with a swanton. I was done. And technically, I was done. Will Jackson just stole the pin. So, to be honest, if Butcher wins, I'd actually face him again and take back my title and get a bit of redemption there. But then again, as you're saying, Lenny's just a beast. Lenny is the pound for pound strongest man in FFW for sure. I see him throwing people around, hitting people with attitude adjustments. He's not one to be messed with either. So it could go either way. But I feel like it's going to be a psychological battle between them, like from their childhood. Like Butcher's obviously the brains, Lenny's the brawn. Like, is Butcher going to try and mug Lenny off, or is Lenny just going to outstrength Butcher through and through? You never know.
No. Well, the reason I was, obviously, the reason it's important to ask you about it is because you're in a unique position where you're going through, a similar level of difficulty with a tag team partner who you view as your brother, in a lot of ways. But yours was taken out of your hands. So obviously, it was just intriguing to hear your approach to how those two guys are gonna deal with that impact when they face off on the 6th of July. So Bad Boys, brilliant tag team, great fun, crowd reactions,
Yeah.
great online, but really good matches as well. And like we mentioned at the start, your own style is very mixing it up with whatever you need to do to compete. Incredible matches with Reese and Rogan, all over the place in the Opera Leisure Centre is one of my favourite memories. And
Yeah.
you weren't quite able to lift the gold, but you were there and thereabouts. What are your memories, if you ignore how it's ended, what are your memories of working as a tag team and getting to put those things together? And what was it like for you moving from a singles competitor into a team?
So, I'll start with the latter,
Mhm.
because like moving from singles into tag, it was pretty much like learning how to wrestle again. It's a completely different ball game. Like, you got a lot more variables, and it tested myself as like a wrestler. And to be fair, it probably helped me a lot as a wrestler to come out, and I got to do that with my best friend, and like that just meant a lot. Like, oh yeah, like we've been to war before, and then like we got that respect, and then it was like, right, because it all came together because it was a bigger threat of the new age. So like, right, I know you, you know me, let's have each other's back. And then we were like, right, we're the bad boys. We're like Will Smith, Martin Lawrence. And we're just like, yeah, we're bad boys. And then like, it's just, to be fair, it was just having fun with my best friend, really. That's how it started. Like, yeah, we're having fun with best friend. We're protecting each other. We've got each other's backs. We're not going to take any bad word. But yeah, so it's good. But like learning how to wrestle, like, it's like, right, what can we do which is going to have an impact? Like, what move? Like, oh, double hip toss bomb, show our chemistry. How can we trick people into him? How can we outsmart the other tag team so we get the wins? It's like coming together and thinking of this game plan for each match as well. And then having a few beers and then just being there for each other. It was like building up that chemistry and going, right, this is how we show we're going to be the best tag team on the roster. So it came from like two friends to like, we're going to be tag team champions, to getting it over the head for the steel chair, apparently. But
Yeah, yeah,
like, I think my fondest memory of it, I'd say it's probably it all, other than getting it hit over the head. But like, it's just a great time. I think the second match in Gainsborough, we came this close to winning.
mm,
I feel like that match was the gemstone of it. That's where we had our best, our aim games, and we're main eventing, and we was like, we should have won it.
it's very very close, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Would you say? I'll ask you about both side of things. So, in terms of the new age, their dominance and how big a group it was, but also the mixture of experience. So they've got a couple of guys, that are very experienced and a lot of youngsters, but they held the title for so long, and they're that really strong force in Fight Factory. Would you say that they're probably the most dominant force of all time in Fight Factory? And then also, I'd like to ask you about Reese and Rogan. Where you view them as a tag team, because I think they're probably the best in the UK. I'm biased because I don't want to beat me up, basically. But no, but genuinely, I think they're fantastic. I just think they've got everything you want in a proper tag team. because you guys don't exist anymore, so I can't call you that.
No,
Um,
that's true.
See, always thinking.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd like to know in terms of your, because you spent a long time now with the Fight Factory, but the New Age, where do you view them as a faction, and how do you view Reese and Rogan as a team?
See, the New Age, I'll start with the New Age. There's loads of different components joined together. It's a bit of a random mixing, if you ask me. Like, you've got Quill, who thinks he's winning at life, but he's actually a big melt. He's got the Academy Champion, so he's obviously doing well for himself there. Then you got Maxwell, who's a bit of a psychopath, but he's changing at the minute, and I don't think the New Age like that. And then you got Jason Morgan, who's a machine, to be fair. Dislocated my knee. And to be fair, I do want to bop him in the nose. And then you got the whole leader of the faction, Caden. I see you giggling. You got the whole leader who's the mastermind behind it, KD, who likes to run it. Who's quick, agile. He's got it all. Robbie X sort of level guy. So it's a weird mixture, and I think that's what works for him well. Like, they can put anyone anywhere in a different style and like hold the gold. And then obviously they've got the numbers game. But I think their biggest downfall is I don't actually believe any of them have got a connection with each other. I don't think any of them can go, oh, that's my best friend. Do you know what I mean? They've just brought Harry Money Machine in as well, haven't they? He was sort of just their like protege sort of thing. So, but I don't think they've got that jealous connection. They're just sort of there listening and getting barked orders from by KD. So it's a weird one. Like, all it takes is for one of them to disagree, and then the whole thing falls apart, in my opinion. And I reckon that might happen sooner than later. So, wink, wink. I see you, Maxwell. I see you shaking my hand. You never know. There you go. So that's my opinion on the New Age. I don't like to talk about them. I don't like to give them the time because, to be fair, in my opinion, they're all little rats. But there you go. You heard it here first, Martin. But Reese and Rogan, that I agree with you. They are the best tag team in the UK by far, by a mile. Like, after being in there, trying to keep up with them guys, it was a task. To be fair, like, bringing ourselves up, it made us better, me and Jake better as performers, even though he probably won't admit it now, but it has. And it's that much credit. Longest reigning Fight Factory tag team champions. You see them everywhere. The Progress, Rev Pro, ICW. Where else aren't there? That's it. They're doing it all. To be fair, it makes me jealous, but I am incredibly proud of them, to be fair, as a tag team. I've got that respect now. They gave me a few beatings. That's probably why. I don't want any more beatings.
No, they'd be great guys to have on your side, wouldn't they?
Yeah,
but
definitely.
I really need to ask you about that. I mean, main eventing in Yarborough.
Yeah.
You don't often see tag team matches in a main event, and what incredible achievement to main event with Fight Factory.
Yeah, definitely. Like, just to step in with them, like, for me, they're pioneering and like the tag team wrestling at the minute. So, like, they're probably one of the biggest tag teams in the UK by name value. They've got the look, they've got the style. They're very much between, like, they're bringing in stuff new, stuff from old. They love it. To be fair, like, just props to them. Like, they just have got a good aura behind them. To be fair, like, they're wrecking force. Yorkshire Tough, that's what they are. They are Yorkshire Tough.
Yeah, they're very, very tough lads. I mean, what I'm quite excited about, which is another, it's away from you, so we'll get back on track with you in a second. But I'm very excited for the rematch with the Friendship at some point when those guys go at it, because they ran them close in Gainsborough just recently, and yeah, it will be interesting to see how Reese and Rogan recoup after that and go again, because that's the Friendship's another very intimidating tag team, and yeah, you wouldn't want to be the referee between those
No.
guys.
No, I'm sure whenever Reece and Rogan are about, the refs are like asking for double pay, insurance pays.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Just in case.
Yeah, I'm sure they are. The health insurance goes up a lot higher when that comes into play. Obviously, I don't want to lose track of that. This is an opportunity to delve into your brain and understand you a bit better. But it was just helpful to hear your thoughts on others and what you've learned from being around them. In terms of where people, if they haven't had the pleasure of seeing you live or don't know your work, what are some of your favorite matches that people you'd recommend people can check out and learn? Either as sort of a match that you really enjoyed, or something as a moment, like we mentioned the Anarchy Championship and the pub thing, that kind of really that kind of tells your story really well. If they watch that and then see your matches now, you can see your career. But from your point of view, what are your favorite memories, and what matches would you recommend? There's things with Eliza Roux. There's so much online.
Yeah. You see, like, I've been doing it long enough. I've had like loads of memories. So you put me on the spot here.
You can
I'm
go
trying to
recent
think.
if you like.
Yeah, so probably the past few years, the best moment is probably beating Aidan Drake for that Junior Heavyweight Championship in Gainsborough as well. Like, I'm getting goosebumps again thinking about it again. Yeah, that's like my moment. Like, crowd going wild, my whole family there. It was a good match as well, to be fair. So that's like probably my most crowning achievement so far. World Heavyweight title coming soon. Yeah, so that's probably a good one. What else? I'm on the spot here. Like, obviously teaming with Dalton. Like, me and him, we're intertwined, to be fair. So I've teamed with him, but I'm very proud of that match in Gainsborough. I can't remember the show names or it like that. So the second one with Reece and Rogan, where we mained Abbey X Church as well. Like that, I feel like that's probably the best I've ever performed. That's my most like, here we go, I'm ready, we're gonna win. Shenanigans happens and then we didn't, but I'm proud of that one. That's a good one. And that's a moment with my best mate, sort of ex-best mate, which I'll never forget. And then I'm trying to think pre-COVID. So obviously I had that rivalry with Jake Dalton. I don't know what to call him anymore. It's awful, but Jake or Dalton, Jake Lee, Dalton Chase, same
I don't think he
person.
knows.
Yeah, I don't think he knows either. Yeah, so my feud with him, eventually we had body slams to cancer. He beat me, obviously, and I ended up having to get a tattoo of him, which was fun. I've covered it up now, but it's still peeping. I'll send you a photo later of his eyes, so you can add it to it. Yeah, so that one was a good one, as far as I can remember. I was quite skinny back then as well, I think. If I've got it right, it could have been after COVID, actually. And then I've had one with him as well at Gainsborough, where I sprayed Frosty Jacks in his face. And all I can remember is Simon, the tech guy, because we were right next to tech, going, "Oh no."
Oh no.
Oh no, please don't go over my tech stuff. Thankfully, we didn't break out.
Oh, the
he
panic before the
was
sticking.
he wasn't a happy chappy, to be honest.
No.
No, I'm trying to think what else from my
You know your
career.
music's not going to play properly now if he hears this. That would be it now.
He's just not playing it. I'm not coming out.
No.
It's gone. I don't deserve to wrestle anymore.
Every time you try and grab the microphone, the sound. Oh, it's just technical issue.
Yeah, technical. I'll just shout. I've got a big mouth on me. I'll shout. And then obviously I've got to think about my debut. Becca bringing me out from the academy, seeing something in me, and sort of taking me under her wing, and that's where Top Boy came from. I became her top boy from day one. So I've had a career. Let's say that.
Yeah, it's great, and I think that's where people love you so much, and that's why they care about you, because they've seen you grow. They've had the beauty of when you're working so long with Fight Factory is they have continuing storylines. It's not like a random show. It is very much they build momentum, and people that, as say, attend on a regular basis, they get to see you develop as a guy. So they don't get to see you as the character. They get to see, like you say, your physique, the way you're styling, the way you talk, the way you act. They've seen you grow up, and it's quite exciting to think that. It ages me when I think, oh God, how many years I've been watching you for. But it's quite nice when you get the chance to reflect back and look back, and you know what, that you were taken under the wing there, and look where you are now.
Yeah, like I do feel like you guys, the fans, have pretty much watched me grow up. I started as like an 18-year-old scrawny, and then I became a 26-year-old, a bit more built, a bit more chunkier to be fair, but and like watch me grow, watch me learn my craft, grow with me, watch me enjoy it more, watch me changing personalities as well, watch me appreciate you guys more, and then go out there and pull my heart out every single match I go have. So I feel like that's like what I've built here. Like I never want to leave this place, to be fair. So
Yeah, it's perfect. It's your home, isn't it? And what an amazing
yeah,
setup that they've got as well. I mean, as I say, the studio, the gym, the matches, the events, like you mentioned, Simon, the production values, they're all fantastic, and it's a great way for you to hone your craft and develop in your career. But just before you go, in terms of when you look at opportunities and who you might want to face, is there anyone in the UK? You slightly mentioned earlier with KD being at Robbie X level. Robbie X is insanely good.
yeah.
Who do you look at and think, oh, I'd really love to get in the ring with them? Is there someone in the UK that you like come to Lincoln, you want to get in with them and you want to mix it up with them?
So obviously my number one goal is that World Heavyweight Championship. So Flex is top of my list. I want to get in with Flex. We've never had a singles match, and I feel like I'm going to be a massive test for him. So he's number one on my list. And then I've got to think Robbie X, obviously, I brought him up earlier. I meant to have a match with him, and then I broke my fingers. So I sort of missed that. So I'd love to, if we can get that to happen, bring that back and have a match with him. I'm trying to think who else I'd love to wrestle in the UK. Tate Mayfair's. I've seen a few of his stuff. Like, he looks incredible, to be fair. Like, he's a realistic one. Like, just full of charisma. I can't speak today. You pulled it out of me. Charisma. He's great. He's a brilliant guy. I love to meet him and give him a bit of a grab. Is there anyone else? Like, there's so much talent in the UK at the minute. Like, but anyone who wants to step up to the clubs, who wants to bring me a bit, I'm ready for you. To be fair.
Love it. I love this motivated you. This is great. One person I was going to mention, I think, did you have a match? I think it was in 2019. Did you have a match with Riley Nova?
Riley Nova. Oh, yeah, he's incredible, Riley.
Oh.
Yeah, so he's good. So I'd love to bring it back with him if he can get over. Like, I'm sure he'll be back at Fight Factory soon. Like, he used to be a bit of a mainstay.
Yeah.
We were meant to have another one, to be fair. That's another match what got cancelled on me. So the show Unstoppable, and then for the Academy title, and then COVID hit, so the Unstoppable show got stopped.
Oh,
So I meant to face him there, like match announced and everything, but never got to happen. I could have been an Academy champion if it wasn't thanks to that. But yeah, so Riley's incredible talent. He's doing great things. I think he's just won a title. I think it was either at Elevation or somewhere like that. So he's world champ there. So similar path. I reckon I'll be world champ soon. So
yeah, I mean that's something I'd love to see happen. You guys go at it. It's fantastic because I think like you say, the similar paths and the opportunities you got. But it's really exciting to talk with you, and I look forward to delving into a bit deeper on a follow-up conversation. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing you on your path to the path to flex and your potential revenge on Dalton, Jake, however we want to name him. I'm probably going to beat
however you
myself
want to
every time I
call
mention
him.
his names. But yeah, no, you and Flex would be fantastic. I love Flex. I think he's an insane talent. I just can't believe how good he is when you watch him, and how well he moves, but the storytelling, the way he gets a crowd going, his reactions, I just think you guys would have a great battle and a good social media feud up to it as well, which would be exciting.
Oh yeah,
But yeah,
definitely. I've got a lot of respect for Flex, but when it comes to it, I'm gonna beat him.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Game on, game on. Well, thank you very much. Obviously, as I say, tickets are available to come and see you live. You've got Five Factory, we've got a lot of shows this year, but the next one, as I say, is on Saturday, the 6th of July at 1NK in North Highcombe, where it's Jack to the Future and it's the triple threat. And this is a very unique match because it's 3 Jacks and they're all incredible talents that you're going to see all over the place going forward. It is Jack Maxwell, Jack Bennett, and this man, the top boy, soon to be.
The man who's going to win, Martin. The man who's going to win.
Put your money on him now. You've heard it here first. JOC, Jack Clubs. Jack, thank you very, very much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Martin. It's been a pleasure.